this is teaching for women, so it is actual real reality, that there is going to be people going to hell. There's going to be people that come to him and say, Lord, Lord, haven't we done many miracles in your name? Haven't we casted out demons in your name? And he says, depart from me, I never knew you, worker of iniquity. Because how you get right with the Lord is you keep his covenants of promise in Ephesians 2. You become his workmanship unto good works. The works that were before ordained that we should walk in. That the entire Bible from the beginning to the end tells you what you need to be keeping, which is the 10 Commandments. A lot of Christians don't understand that Jehovah really does not change. Malachi chapter 3, he tells you he does not change, so Jacob is not consumed with fire. The end time prophecy in Isaiah 65 and 66. Romans 10 tells you that his people will have a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge. His people die for a lack of knowledge because they reject his covenant. He will reject them and their children. That's Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. And Yeshua says that he desired mercy over sacrifice and the knowledge of God over burnt offering. He told them to go learn what that meant. He quoted Hosea chapter 4, verse 6 and Hosea chapter 6, verse 6 and 7. Because they reject his law, his covenant, the 10 Commandments. That will be your righteousness if you do them. They're going to suffer the wrath of God. They're the children of disobedience. In Ephesians 2, that go after the lusts of this world, following after the prince of this world, the man of perdition in 2 Thessalonians 2, the opposite himself of Jehovah, because they have accepted the false Messiah that would deceive the world in Matthew 24, that does lying signs and wonders in the name of Jesus. Jesus Horish Krishna. Revelation 13, count the number of the beast, for it's the number of a man, 636, Chi Ze Stigma, which is your crucifix. Jesus, for the 144,000 have the Father's name written on their foreheads, Revelations 14. But those that have the man of perdition sitting in their temple, their heart, in 2 Thessalonians 2, that they worship over God with Baal worship, Jeremiah 10, Jeremiah 7, Christmas and Easter, saying Jesus is God. They have his name written on their foreheads, the name of the beast, the mark of his name. Yeshua warned us in John 5:42 and 43, because he knows you don't have the love of God in you, because that's an idiom for, I know you don't keep the 10 Commandments. 1 John 5, verse 3, this is the love of God, to keep his commandments. I know you don't have the love of God in you. I know you don't keep the commandments. I came in my Father's name, Yeshua, or Joshua in English. Zechariah 3, Revelations 5. But they didn't receive him. There's going to be another that comes in his own name. Constantine created Jesus Horish Krishna, Jesus H. Christ, after 3 Greek gods, Apollyon and Revelations. 2 Thessalonians 2, son of perdition. You look it up in the Strongs, it's child of Apollyon. The Greek God that Rome created, Jesus Horish Krishna, Jesus H. Christ, that they will accept in their temple, that would deceive the world with lying signs of wonders. Because many have been healed in the name of Jesus. Many have been delivered in the name of Jesus. Because the sun also doesn't change. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever, and he did the Father's will, not his own will. They don't know what the prophets wrote of the Messiah. That's why they don't receive the true Messiah. Yeshua told you to go search the scriptures. In them you'll find eternal salvation. It was what was testified of him, what Moses testified in John 5, verse 37 through 47. His Father said to us that, well, John told us in 1 John 5, verse 10, if you don't believe the record that Jehovah gave of his Son, you make Jehovah a liar. And Moses wrote in Deuteronomy chapter 18, 15 through 19, that Yeshua would give us everything desired at Horeb in the day of the assembly. The 10 Commandments, Deuteronomy 5, and Jehovah would speak through him and give us commandments he would require of us. Matthew 22, he fulfilled that. He magnified 2 commandments in the old law. That's what Isaiah the prophet told us he would do in Isaiah 42:21. He magnified to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy might. Yeshua quoted verbatim Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5 through 25. The 10 Commandments, a sign, signed in the Strongs as mark. Bind them on your hand for a sign. Keep them in the frontlets of thy eyes, and it will be a righteousness if you do them. And Leviticus 19:15 through 18. To do no unrighteousness and judgment, judged by Jehovah's righteousness, the 10 Commandments. Rebuke your neighbor when they break them. Your neighbor that believes in Jehovah, you are to rebuke them, correct them when they're breaking the 10 Commandments, when they have the image made onto the beast. Chi Ze stigma, 666, the crucifix that makes you deaf, dumb, and blind. When they break the Sabbath day, that's dawn Saturday to dawn Sunday, you're supposed to keep it as Jehovah has commanded us to keep it. Another perpetual covenant, a sign between him and his children, Exodus 31, 16 through 18, that has not changed. Hebrews 4, verse 9, there remains a rest, and that rest in the Strong's Concordance is Sabbath. There remains a Sabbath to the people of Jehovah. And we're not to take the Lord's name in vain. Psalms 109 tells you that those disobedient children, he places Satan at their right-hand side. They have the name of the beast on their forehead, Jesus. Their Psalms 144, their hand is falsehood. They have a lie in their right hand. Revelations 13, their mark on their forehead and in their right hands. But Jehovah, his children have the mark of his Sabbath. They have the mark of his righteousness, the 10 Commandments. They have the Father's name, Jehovah, written on their foreheads. They don't deny the Son's name, Yeshua or Joshua in English, the one that came in his Father's name. They don't make Jehovah a liar. They believe in the testimony he gave of his Son, that his Son would give us everything desired at Horeb, that he will require of us. Love God, love neighbor. Those that will be great in the kingdom of heaven, Matthew 5. If you break one of those least commandments and teach others too, you'll be least in the kingdom of heaven, Isaiah 66. Those 65, those sanctifying themselves in their own righteousness, because Romans 10, they're ignorant of his. Eating swine's flesh and broth of abominable things, because we're still supposed to eat clean. When the Lord returns with fire to plead with all flesh, with his whirlwind, 144,000, those eating swine's flesh and doing idolatry will be consumed along with the mouths. And the very end of the chapter, those least in the kingdom of heaven, those in the kingdom will look